the investment in Diamond Bank.
Sorry, real quick. In fact, mentioning that Diamond actually did climb yesterday, so it closed at 73 kobo, I think,
from 66 kobo.
From 66 kobo. So I don't know if that should we help our listeners with the dead cat bounce. Yeah, one it was a dead cat bounce.
Probably when it goes up,
yes,
maybe a day or two. Next day it goes down.
It goes back down. So the
I think it's more or less to say let investors or people put in more money. Then
right.
at the end of the whole day, they lose money.
It loses money. So Lagos, that's a dead cat. If you drop a dead body, metaphorically, it bounces as it falls. It bounces up. Yeah, sorry, it's a little dark metaphor. But
I know.
Stock marketing. Continue.
Okay, so for me, I think what is more significant in this this analysis is the fact that they've not only lost the value of the stock, they've also lost returns.
Right.
So the good part for the other banks that I mentioned is at least they've been having returns.
Right.
So most of them have been declaring profits. So they will have been able to at least recover some of the value from dividend payment if that had been a trend with Diamond Bank. But unfortunately, that's not the trend. They are caught in this. It's unfortunate that they have to make provisions for this in their books.
Just click on the returns. From 2014, you can see that the profit after tax has reduced from 25 billion all the way to a loss in 2017.
So in 3 years, they've wiped out 20-something billion. Yeah.
But I think they're making concerted efforts now, because we saw that they downgraded themselves from international bank to national bank.
Right.
And then most likely there was fears as regards them repaying their coupons on their Eurobond, and then which matures next year. But all these necessary steps, I don't think is. I think they'll get the hang out of it.
2019 is going to be a very interesting year. I really want to see how things work out for different players in the market. So we'll see how it goes. They say they'll pay that Eurobond off in May. I think it was May, yeah. They say May 2019. So we're all going to be here in Lagos. We'll all be here May 2019.
And then we're waiting for the divestment from the UK
Diamond Bank
license.
can pay off that $200 million Eurobond. All right, let's move on to some very interesting comments here from our former CBN governor, who is now the Emir of Kano, Mr. Lamido Sanusi. Headline here is he says the hike in the Mfbs, which is the microfinance bank's capital, that's the capital requirements, could hurt financial inclusion. Bolarinwa, help us out here. What is Sanusi saying here, essentially? There's a lot to get into in this Business Day article where he was speaking.
Well, I will start by saying that it's easier standing on the sidelines and
than when you're inside.
Than when you are the major player. So he has so much to say on this matter. Now, we have a target of 2020 to have 80% financial inclusion rate. We currently have 41%. Still very far away from where we intend to be. I think this target was set around 2012. So we've done about 6 years out of 8. So if you are to really sit down and do the numbers, we are far away from, even if we go at this run rate, we are not going to achieve it.
Right.
So it's just more of a reflective discussion that they had. They had a conference, the FINAL conference that held, I think, about 2 days ago.
Right.
Now, which is enhancing financial innovation and access.
Okay.
That's what FINA is about. And he's saying that if we continue at this rate, we are not going to achieve what we have set out to achieve. Now, his major focus is on the new capital base for the microfinance bank.
Yes.
He's saying that while he thinks that it may be good to strengthen the microfinance space, it may also hurt the financial inclusion drive of the CBN. Okay. Now, his expectation is that the CBN also needs to take a careful look at their drive towards getting the locals, the small scale and the likes, which has been largely led by the banks. Right. So he's suggesting that we should take a lesson from the M-Pesa model that has the telcos driving the project. Now the question is, while he was the CBN governor,
yes. Why didn't
he supported banks leading this. For me, I think that it will take getting a neutral person that is not from the bank to drive this, because really the radical change that we saw in the banking sector, leading to a 25 billion naira capital base in 2005-4 was actually led by someone who came from outside.
Right. Mr. Soludo.
Soludo. So I think these are just rhetorics. We really need to. While I support the CBN from on the standpoint of them strengthening the capital base of the microfinance bank, because we've seen some of these banks go down. We also need to balance it. I agree with the fact that we need to balance it, but I'm not sure that there's that will there.
For me, I think most companies generally they usually wait for regulatory actions before understanding the fact that they might need some mergers or acquisition.
Okay.
So I think probably when companies start adopting proactiveness, probably we need to audit.
Okay. And I believe Mr. Emefiele, our current governor, he's up for reappointment depending on how things go after the election. Yeah?
Rotus?
Again, I say it, 2019 is an interesting year, people. I'm just saying, there's so much to look forward to next year.
So much shit.
I'm just, hey, we'll see how it goes. Okay, let's move to oil. Iran has a very, dark warning here. Headline is that Iran is warning that oil will slump to $40 per barrel, which is terrible for us if OPEC fails to cut production. So they are meeting in Vienna, I believe it's this week or next week. Yeah,
this week.
This week ahead. So, Bolarinwa, are they bluffing here, or is this a warning to be heeded? What's going on?
Yeah, it is a warning to be heeded, because the truth is, we've seen oil price nosedive from $80 per barrel down to $60 per barrel.
I think it even fell to 54, sir.
So that's a sharp drop in less than 2 months. And we know that this has been largely driven by oversupply in the market. And if OPEC does not get its house in order, this trend is likely going to continue, because we saw oil price went down to like about $28 per barrel, right. And this warning should be considered at their meeting, because this is going to be the meeting that leads them into 2019. The next meeting is going to happen in May, and so whatever decision they take now is going to be impact on the market for about 6 months.
Nwanne, what are your thoughts, real quick?
I think oil price will go up to a certain extent.
Depending
on there's going to be a sharing formula.
Right.
Russia, Canada, and Saudi Arabia, they'll have to come to discussion of cutting oil production.
I think we're almost out of time. Any thoughts on Qatar leaving OPEC? Or was it just symbolic? Or
definitely they might leave.
Yeah,
it is symbolic.
They said they're leaving.
Yeah,
it is symbolic to OPEC that the house is breaking down. Though it may not have significant impact in terms of what they contribute to OPEC, but it's symbolic that the market, cartel is getting weaker by the day.
All right, gentlemen, the horsemen, Nwanne and Bolarinwa, thank you so much for joining us today. All right.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. On that note, we are done. Do stick around, though. Up next, we are talking about your hustle, so keep listening to Smooth 98.1.